Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 44, season 2, round 20 of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode. Today we're here for the penultimate round of season 2. It's the Brazilian Grand Prix, and obviously hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy this video. If you do, make sure you do get yourself subscribed. We're trying to hit 12,000 subscribers at the moment on the channel, and yeah, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could help me get one step closer to that as well. But yeah, coming though into the Brazilian Grand Prix, I was having a little bit of a look back through the recent results, and we've had a bit of a point drought recently. We've had 3 12th places in a row so far in this season 2, and well, hopefully season 3 is a bit of a turnaround for us. We're definitely making progress in the latter stages of season 2, but yeah, hopefully we can end this points drought. You know, we have 3 really solid rounds, you know, in the second half of the season, and I thought perhaps that was a turnaround we needed, but as you can tell on the progress, there is still a long way to go with this HAAS car. But yeah, moving on though, I can't believe we've nearly finished season 2. I know recently the upload schedule has been beyond poor. I am working on trying to get it all sorted out again, trying to plan further ahead and everything like that with the channel. So yeah, hopefully you guys do stick around at the moment, nonetheless, ready for more content on the channel. But yeah, let's jump on then. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and like always, let's kick this off with quali.
Welcome to qualifying here in Interlagos as the cars are readying up for what's likely to be a very important session. And as we count down to that green light, I have to say, Anthony Davidson, that this rain is not showing any signs whatsoever of abating. I imagine we'll be looking at some last-minute setup changes to better adapt these cars to the conditions. What do you think?
The trouble is, Crofty, they need to be thinking about the race tomorrow. You don't want to go jacking up the ride heights and piling on a few points of extra downforce that you're not going to want in the Grand Prix itself. The Parc Fermé regulations mean that you have to make that choice. The best thing the drivers can do is adapt with the tools they have available in the cockpit. Moving the brake bias forward will help stop the rear end slipping out under braking, and opening up the differential can really help tame the oversteer on corner exit. The drivers that can make best use of these techniques will have the best chance for success here today.
So qualifying then for the Brazilian Grand Prix, I'm very excited to be heading back to this circuit. You know, I'd say it's not one of my favourites, but it's certainly a track that I still enjoy coming to on the F1 calendar. And as you can see on your screens, qualifying was going to be a difficult one. Very tricky, semi-wet, quite damp conditions. I know we've sort of spoke about the AI on F1 2019 being a bit OP in the full wet conditions. I've personally found qualifying, they're very strong in the intermediate conditions as well, and especially around a track like Brazil where the AI tend to be very strong on 1 lap pace anyway. I was set for a bit of a session of struggling in all honesty, and I'd say I was aware of that coming into this Grand Prix weekend, so to be honest with you, I'd sort of just gone for the race trim setup and just seeing if we could drag the car anywhere up the order as we came into this weekend. They see out of the final couple of corners on our first flying lap, and you can see we're barely into the DRS zone, and Max Verstappen's previous best is already way ahead of us there, and we slot down all the way in P20 at this early stage of the session there. So yeah, really not quite the first run, the first run that we wanted there, and heading on into our second one, we really needed to push there. A huge tank slapper as we come out of turn 3 there on full opposite lock as we head down the back straightaway, and you can see coming through into sector 2, they're still really struggling with the front end turning there. We probably ran a little bit less downforce than we needed there. You can see kicking out the back end as well as we head in towards the next couple of corners there, and you can see as we head down in towards Jungsao to finish off the lap here. We are actually just fractionally down on my previous best here as we make the run up towards the start-finish line. The checkered flag is now out there, and we're actually going to take way too much curb there. The back end's going to snap out. And, well, I don't think we were going to make any improvements anyway there, but that was not a mistake that we needed to make right towards the end of qualifying there. And that is going to be us starting right at the rear of the field for the Brazilian Grand Prix then. Not really what we needed in this session though. We've certainly got a long way to go now in the rest of the weekend there. As you can see, bringing it back down into the pit lane there. And yes, certainly not a session to remember, I think it is safe to say, at the end of the day there. It's going to be P20 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. What we're going to do, because you may as well on F1 2019, we're just going to strap a completely fresh engine to the car, have a bit of fun in these final couple of rounds of the season there and just see what we can scrape up there. But yeah, not qualifying that we wanted. Fresh engine in the back of the car though. Let's see what we can do in the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Where there's a will, well, there's a way. And nowhere has that fact been better demonstrated over the years than here at Interlagos. Remember Senna winning while fighting a gearbox that was jammed in 6th? 5 Drivers' Championship deciders in a row between 2005 and 2009. And of course, the passionate Brazilian fans packing the grandstands to capacity every year. And they're not about to stop now. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the 2 DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Devon Butler put in a fantastic lap yesterday and will start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Pierre Gasly and Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Sainz and Sebastian Vettel. They've taken a grid penalty. Weber, Norris, George Russell and Grosjean. Stroll, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and Alexander Albon, Fiat and Mr. Monaco. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
So here we are then on the grid, ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it is looking like a very, very interesting strategy call coming into this one. Now, I know the AI tend to want to make the one-stop work softs to mediums. The game didn't think that was going to be possible. I'm not too sure why at the end of the day there, but that's going to be the strategy that we're going to try and go with in this Grand Prix. As you can see, doing a bit of tinkering around with, like, obviously the setup and everything like that, of the stints even, sorry, I should say. In the end there, you can see we were able to make it work there or thereabouts. The game only reckoned we were going to be 1 lap short in this race, so we'll wait and see as to whether that is possible nonetheless. But I think we're almost ready then for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're going to take off a little bit of the aero from qualifying there and get ready for the start of the penultimate round of the season. The 5 lights are coming on now, and it is lights out and away we go then for the Brazilian Grand Prix there, and actually getting off to a fairly standard start. Like always, nothing we can really do on the run down in towards turn 1 there. Danny Capure on the inside there, almost squeezed me off the road there. I was a little bit unsure what was going to happen between the powers there as we head through turn 1 and turn 2 there. Actually get tremendous drive off the exit of turn 2 then. Giovinazzi, no Raikkonen even, my arch rival, giving me the squeeze right the way off the road there, so we're going to return the favour, giving the squeeze down in towards the next couple of corners there. Alexander Albon running a little bit slowly, so we're going to try and capitalise on that as well there, and we move all the way up into P17 off the start of this Grand Prix. So actually a better start than we normally get in this series, but I need to go aggressive, balls to the wall on lap 1 of this Grand Prix. We need to try and make it places, and we need to try to make them up fast in this race here, because I was still hoping, you know, potentially we can try and get something good in this Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see as we head through Sector 2. No real opportunities to make the overtakes, especially on F1 2019 with how strict the AI can be with just, you know, their wonderful ability to turn in on you. And there's going to be one man that's going to turn in. It's going to be Lance Stroll there as we head out of the final couple of corners there to complete lap 1 of this Grand Prix. We're going to try and have a look up the inside of Lance Stroll there. We get a bit of a cheeky switchback on the exit of the final couple of corners there. Up the inside we go. Nothing Lance can do in that McLaren car there. He tries to have a look back around the outside as we head down in towards turn 1 there, but we run way too deep under braking there. Stroll's going to once again be able to return the favour and get the switchback move done as we head through the first couple of corners there. But with the slipstream, with the overtake mode on the ERS, back up the inside of Lance Bigger. We're going to be side by side as we head down in towards turn 4, though. We are going to be able to make the move work, and we now move ourselves back up into P16 of this Grand Prix. So a good solid start to this race, but we, like I said, we need to push like crazy in the opening stint. But we've got to be quick but careful here. Obviously, these soft compound tyres can really, really go off very, very quickly, as well as we've seen in previous races. Often, we've had to pit a little bit earlier than the AI and then just go for a bit of clear air here. But hopefully, this Brazilian Grand Prix can be a bit of a different story here. End of lap 3, we're now all over the back of Antonio Giovinazzi there in that Alfa Romeo. And well, we're not going to be all over the back of Antonio Giovinazzi in that Alfa Romeo for too much longer in this Grand Prix. They're now up into P15 and actually now behind my teammate Romain Grosjean here in this race. So clearly not a track that HAAS were feeling too confident at. Clearly not a track that we've got the best pace in the world as we head towards the end of lap 5, though. Grosjean was hanging on to the back of this train. You know, I think we have, what, both Williams, Sainz and Sebastian Vettel, as well as Romain Grosjean now and myself. So a good little 6-car train that was actually extending right the way up into the points of this race here. So potentially, you know, in the early stages, we could still see the points up the road there, and that was obviously going to be the most important thing in this Grand Prix here. I really desperately wanted to, you know, finish off this points drought, get something on the board here in this Grand Prix. You can see further up the road there, actually, Sebastian Vettel trying to make the move work on a Carlos Sainz there, but Sainz having absolutely none of it here. Seb, I think he took grid penalties after qualifying there, and he desperately needs to get past the McLaren car there because, well, he's still got a championship to be battling with his teammate Charles Leclerc there, and yeah, he needs to come into this Grand Prix and try to outscore his teammate, try to solidify his chances as we head into the final round of the season there. But still, Charles Leclerc, you can see up in the points in this Grand Prix, wasn't looking like he was going to capitalise all too much in this race, but still Sebastian Vettel a long way to go in this Grand Prix if he wants to score some points here. And, well, talking about points, we were now trying to line ourselves up, get one step closer to the top 10 here, all over the back of my teammate Romain Grosjean, obviously, with the equal power unit in the back of the HAAS car there. Are we going to be able to make any sort of move work as we head down in towards turn 1 there? Grosjean goes defensive. He's aware of the move coming in towards turn 1 there. Pretty even, actually, on the brakes. Grosjean, though, a big double lockup as we head in towards turn 1 and turn 2 there. Are we going to be able to try and capitalise on this? I think Norris and Sainz are having a bit of a battle there, the ex-McLaren teammates, as we head down this next straightaway here. Is Sainz going to be able to do anything? Are we going to be able to do anything right around the outside of my teammate Romain Grosjean there? And rather surprisingly, Grosjean does actually back out in that situation there, so we now move ourselves up into P14 of this Grand Prix. They're really, really happy with that one there, and yeah, we're making good solid progress still in this race there. 6 places made up in the opening 7 laps here, and now we were all over the back of Carlos Sainz as well here, but it would take another lap before we'd even be able to think about trying to do anything on the rear of the McLaren car here. Are we going to be able to get the run down towards turn 1 there? He's not quite close enough to Lando Norris anymore, and we're going to be able to slip up the inside there. He tries to give me the squeeze, basically the same move that we managed to make work on his teammate Lance Stroll there. But unlike Lance Stroll, we do get the car slowed down on the apex of T1 there. We are now up into P13 of this Grand Prix here, and now the game starting to recognise that the one-stop strategy is possible here. We're going to basically stick to our lap 16 strategy there and try to continue on in this Grand Prix. Now onto the end of lap 10 here, all over the back of Lando Norris. And are we going to be able to make any sort of move work as we head into T1? No, we could not this time round. And Lando Norris, someone that we're battling very, very intensely in the World Drivers' Championship. Someone that we haven't had too many battles with on the road, though, in this season. And while the Battle of British is really, really going to take effect in this Grand Prix, we've had a couple of really titanic battles in this season. Carlos Sainz at Germany is always one that sticks out for me there. But Lando Norris, he was certainly going to be a fighter as well. And the Williams and ourselves, pretty even in terms of overall track performance here. They had a bit more through the corners. We had a bit more down the straights there. And as you can see, the battle instantly started to heat up here. Onto lap 12 we go. They're trying to look around the outside of Lando Norris there, but he has taken absolutely none of it there. Plays the defensive card and gets the car slowed down through the first couple of corners here. Are we going to be able to make the run down in towards turn 3 there? He goes for the defensive move once again. They're braking around the outside, and Lando really, really brave on the brakes there as we head down in through the next couple of corners here. Clearly not taking no for an answer in these stages of this Grand Prix there. Trying to get all over the back of him as we head in towards the twisty middle section there, and well, struggling a little bit with the understeer in the dirty air here. We need to try and get all over the back of this Williams and try to get the run done as quickly as possible here. End of lap 12 we go now with the overtake mode, with the ERS, the DRS, the rich revs, everything we've possibly got at the moment there. We're going to be able to get a tremendous run once again on Lando Norris, but once again he plays it defensive and just that bit braver on the brakes as we head in towards T1 there. Nothing we can do at the moment. We need to be much, much closer as we head through the final couple of corners there to really try to capitalise on this over Lando there. And are we going to be able to make a move work down in towards turn 4 once again? Then no, Lando plays defensive, and yeah, nothing we could do that time around without going for a really, really risky dive bomb there. And on to the end of lap 14 now. I've said it before and I'll say it again, we need to be just that bit closer as we head out onto the front straightaway here. You can see trying to get in the slipstream there, and this time around we're going to have a look up the inside though. Are we going to be able to make this move work? This time around Lando squeezes me tight as we head through the first couple of corners there, but this time around are we going to be able to make it work? Lando keeps the nose up the inside, we give him the room and we get the run on the exit of the corner there. Luckily for me, we've still got the DRS as we head down this next straightaway here, and Lando pretty much even as we head in towards the next couple of corners there. He thinks about going for a bit of a late lunge up the inside, but couldn't make it work this time around, and now we need to try and make a bit of a breakaway from Lando Norris here. But look at that, he's going to try and look right around the outside as we head up the hill there. Very, very brave from Lando. But yeah, nothing he's going to be able to do in that situation there. You know, you've got to be pretty brave and pretty crazy, in my personal opinion, to try and make a move work around the outside of the hill there. And yeah, we do hold it on, and we now move ourselves back up into P12 of this Grand Prix here. But as you can see, coming down in towards the final couple of corners of the lap there, Lando starting to struggle a little bit through the penultimate proper corner of the lap there, but still nothing really that we can make a breakaway here in this Grand Prix. And trying to use the overtake mode, trying to use the rich revs once again here. And Lando, is he going to be able to get the run down towards turn 1 once again here? He's gaining, but not quite enough there as we head down in towards the first braking zone. We are now safe on this lap, but we have still got to be wary because we've got to make our pit stop very, very soon in this Grand Prix here. And is Lando actually going to be able to get a very, very good run at turn 2 there, down in towards turn 3 there? Look at the slingshot. Lando's been able to get there right up the inside. He goes there, and I wasn't even expecting him to try and get that run out of the first couple of corners there, but he makes the move work, and he is now up into P12 once again of this Grand Prix there. And you can see by the end of lap 16 there, we would dive it in for our 1 and hopefully pit stop of this Grand Prix there, breaking it nice and tidily, 46 miles an hour as we enter the pit lane there. Couldn't have slowed it down much better if we had tried there. But yeah, pretty much making it almost to the halfway stage of this Grand Prix. A 19-lap stint on this set of the medium compound tyres is certainly possible if we made 16, 17 on these softs there. So we are going to come back out of the pit lane, actually down into P15 of this Grand Prix. So not actually dropping too many places through the pit stop window there. You can see Carlos Sainz, I think, yeah, he had already made his pit stop in this Grand Prix, so he was going to come out actually quite far behind us in this Grand Prix there. And as we now head on to the next couple of laps here, where are we going to come out ahead or behind, even I should say, of Lando Norris in this Grand Prix? We jumped Giovinazzi, we jumped my teammate Roman Grosjean now. Where is Lando as we head through the first couple of corners there? You can see him exiting out of the pit lane here. Are we going to be able to get the run through the first couple of corners there, through the centre? As you can see, Lando still just in front of us there. We are going to be able to get the better run as we head out onto the back straightaway here. And are we going to be able to make any sort of move work? No, Lando just about makes the overcut work there, going that a little bit longer. Has really, really worked out for him in this Grand Prix here. And are we going to be able to keep close enough in this second stint to stay with him and try to potentially make the move work as we head in towards the next couple of laps of this Grand Prix? We need to stick close despite the dirty air here. It really does cost you a lot through this middle sector here, but on the fresh compounded tyres we can really try to make this move work. You can see a little bit of a train starting to form just up the road there. I think that's Pierre Gasly, George Russell and Sebastian Vettel in this Grand Prix there. And as we head now back down the hill, are we going to be able to make anything work on Lando Norris here as we head through the final couple of corners there? We are definitely close, but are we going to be close enough? No, big snap of oversteer as we head through the final couple of corners. And are we going to be able to get the run up to the start-finish line there? We are so quick in the slipstream relative to the Williams car there. He's going to go defensive. He's wise of it once again there. It's like the battle never really stopped there. And brave on the brakes from Lando Norris there. He locks at the fronts, but just to get the car slowed down towards the apex there. And while we need to try and make the run down towards turn 4 here, we do get the slipstream, we do get the DRS, the ERS, everything like that. Once again there, Lando, we force him defensive in towards the next couple of corners, round the outside maybe. Are we going to be able to make this move work? Lando tries to defend on the inside there. We made the move work, but Lando gets the drive on the exit of the corner there, and I was ready to hype that move up as a really, really good one there. But Lando all the wiser there, and he does hold on for now. And this battle is really starting to heat up in this Grand Prix. We're having to try and make it work in other places around the lap here, and are we going to be able to make the move work down in towards turn 1 once again? Then we get a much better run than previously, actually ahead of him before the start-finish line even, I should say. And we now move ourselves up into P12 of this Grand Prix. But Lando, once again, we've got to be wary of the run on the exit of turn 3 here. And is he going to be able to get the drive down the straight? Yes, he is, with the DRS as well there. He's going to squeeze him defensive, try to make the move work around the outside, but Lando, no, parks it on the apex there. We thought about making the switchback move work as well, but yeah, Lando all the wiser once again, and this is turning into a titanic battle in this Grand Prix, but there is still a long way to go in this race here. 16 laps to go of this Grand Prix. We barely reached the halfway stage of this race, and crazy how much action we've already had in this race. We can see Pierre Gasly in the Mercedes really starting to struggle in this Grand Prix. His teammate, Devon Butler even, I should say, still just up inside the points at the moment there, but Gasly still struggling at the moment there. Lando, though, tries to play it defensive in towards Jung Sao there. I don't think he was expecting us to try and go for a move there, and we're going to try and capitalise on this, get the drive at the final couple of corners, give them a squeeze up towards the grass there as we head out of the final couple of corners. But with the slipstream on Pierre Gasly as well, we're almost going to zonta him as we head in towards turn 1 there. Myself up the inside, Norris right around the outside there. Gasly actually runs into the back of me as we head through turn 1 there. Norris has the inside for turn 2 there. Gasly has been jumped by both of us as we head through the first couple of corners there, and that is now us up into P11 of this Grand Prix here. So it looks like once again it could be a battle for P11 and P12 in this race there. Lando tries to get the run around the outside there, but actually drops a lot of time in that situation there, and that's going to give us the breakaway that we needed here. And you can see by the end of lap 24 though, Lando, it wouldn't take long before he was all over the back of us once again. I'll be honest, we've been able to stick with him probably through the DRS in all honesty, and while Lando is going to be able to get the run down in towards turn 1 there. Once again, a huge lockup as we head through the first couple of corners there. We're trying to shred his tyres as we head through these next couple of laps here, but still trying to stick close to Lando Norris. If anyone gets some issues in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, I'd love to be able to try and sneak a top 10 finish here in this race. But whatever happens, I do not want to be finishing P12 in this race. We've finished P12 3 times in a row now in this championship, and now with just 10 laps to go of this Brazilian Grand Prix that we're going to try and get the run round the outside of Lando once again there with the DRS. Are we going to be able to make it work? We've tried it earlier on in this race round the outside, and once again Lando able to get the drive on the exit of the corner there, just not able to get the run to stick close enough to make a move in towards sector 2 there. And now 8 laps to go of this Grand Prix. We had dropped a little bit to Lando Norris in this Grand Prix, but you can see more importantly actually Sebastian Vettel really now struggling in this Grand Prix here, with now just 7 and a bit laps to go of this race there. Sebastian really struggling as we head through the final couple of corners of this lap there. Are we going to be able to potentially make a move there? And potentially now this is a battle for the points in this Grand Prix there. Lando Norris is going to be able to get the run down the inside in towards turn 1 there, and we need to try and follow through as we head in towards the first braking zone. Are we going to be able to make anything work? There we go for a late lunge, actually lock the front wheels there and run Sebastian out wide there. I'm sure Ferrari won't be happy with that one after the little agreement. Obviously has to be running ever since they joined the Formula 1 grid there. But yes, Sebastian Vettel surely not happy with that one there, but we won a point in this Grand Prix there. Seb's still trying to fight for this World Championship there. He really is struggling in this Grand Prix, and now over the next couple of laps we were trying to get back up towards the rear of Lando Norris there, and we're going to try and go for a late lunge in towards turn 1 there. Once again, wheel-to-wheel contact. We actually had to open up the steering lock to try and avoid the AI turning in and us getting half spun there. So yeah, bit of a rash move, but once again we made it work in this Grand Prix. 5 laps now to go of this race, and Lando Norris, is he going to be able to get the run down in towards turn 4 there? He's certainly going to try and make it work once again, and once again just wiser to the switchback move that we were trying to make there. Sergio Perez, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Sebastian Vettel is now really trying to get closer in this Grand Prix once again. He needs to try and score a point in this race there, but still we are, all 3 of us, it's been a long time before Lando Norris and I both scored points in Formula 1. Sebastian Vettel, he still wants this World Championship, and that 1 point could prove absolutely crucial there. But we get round the outside of Lando as we head down in towards turn 1 there, and are we going to be able to make the move work? I think we have once again here. 4 laps to go now of this Grand Prix, and we are finally back up into a points paying position of this Grand Prix. But are we going to be able to hold on to it? It could be one of those situations where the final lap does decide it. Now we go defensive this time around on Lando, trying to keep the nose up the inside. Luckily for me, he locks up there, and are we going to be able to make the move work? Yes, we do. Back up the inside we go. And we are now back up into P10 of this Grand Prix. This is getting so intense. This battle has been going on since, what, about lap 8 of this Grand Prix. With just a few laps to go of this Grand Prix. Lando, Norris and myself not giving up. This 1 point would mean so much to both of us in this title fight here. And now with just 4 laps to go of this race there. Lando started to actually drop back a little bit in the late stages of this race. Quite clear that we wanted it just that a little bit more than the Williams man there. You can see now onto lap 33 we go. Lando, the gap was half a second as we headed in towards the final couple of corners there. And onto the end of lap 33, it's now up to 0.6 of a second as well there. So clearly Lando struggling a little bit with the tyres towards the final couple of laps of this Grand Prix. And as we head out onto the penultimate lap of this race, the gap was just ebbing and flowing there, but most importantly, he wasn't able to get the run down in towards turn 1 there. 0.4 of a second now as we head in towards the final couple of laps of, and as we head through the final couple of corners of the Grand Prix, they are not going to sugarcoat it. Lando Norris just never really got the opportunity to try and go for anything once again here. You can see through the final couple of corners of the Brazilian Grand Prix, I honestly thought after qualifying we were down and out of this weekend. It was going to be just another weekend to write off there, but through the final corners it is going to be 10th place, and finally another point in this HAAS road to glory there. We certainly had to work for that one. What a race at the end of the day there, and what a battle with Lando Norris right the way throughout.
And an incredible win for Racing Point. A brilliant performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
The Racing Point team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first-place finish. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
The Constructors' Championship may be a foregone conclusion at the moment, but regardless, let's look at the standings. So then, Ferrari have now moved out of sight and out of reach. It's another triumph for the Italian team as they claim the World Constructors' Championship. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So there we are then, guys, the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix there. Sergio Perez takes his 4th race win in a row here. He is certainly looking like he is going to be right in that title battle as we head into Season 3 there. Ahead of Weber, Verstappen, Hamilton in P4 there, with Nico Hülkenberg, Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc, Devon Butler, George Russell and myself rounds out the points finishes there. 4 British drivers in a row there, right towards the cusp of the points, and Sebastian Vettel down in P12. Certainly not the race he would have wanted, and that means Charles Leclerc, the gap now down to just 12 points as we head in towards the final round of this season. Sebastian Vettel, he needs a podium. Charles Leclerc, he needs to win this race, and he needs Sebastian Vettel to finish lower than P4 there. But that is it, the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix there. As you can see, Sergio Perez jumps Nico Hülkenberg up into P4 there. He could theoretically jump Lewis Hamilton for P3 at the end of the day if he continues this form there. Max Verstappen jumps Devon Butler as well. And in the Constructors' Championship, if I'm not mistaken, Renault have now jumped Mercedes as well. They're clearly showing that Hamilton made the jump at the right time here in the late stages of this World Championship. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Quite a long one once again in the HAAS Road to Glory, but what a battle it was, race long as well there. And if that doesn't give me motivation heading in towards Season 3, I don't know what will there. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Get yourself subscribed, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for the finale of Season 2. It's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.